This month marks 40 years since the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan. The conflict ended poorly for both countries, accelerating the decline of the USSR and sparking a civil war in Afghanistan that continues to this day. This report has more.
The Soviets pulled out of this country in 1989, but their destroyed tanks are still scattered across the Afghan landscape. Armed using American funds, the Afghan people and volunteers from across the Muslim world waged a bloody insurgency against Russian occupation. 14,000 Soviet troops were killed before the Kremlin finally took its soldiers back home.
Yes, it was difficult, and yes, it's true that at least 40% of people who fought in Afghanistan are no longer alive, but that's life. Any war for anyone who took part in it is hard.
But for Afghans, the consequences were even more tragic. 2 million were killed in the war and 7 million forced to flee the country. By the 1990s, the country was in a state of civil war, which eventually brought the Taliban to power.
I always thought that what we were doing was necessary. Even being an 18-year-old guy, I realized that such a big country, a superpower, had to control what happens in its underbelly.
40 years after the Soviet invasion, Afghanistan still isn't at peace. And with the US preparing to pull out of the country, there are fears the country may descend into another civil war.